This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife. It's us or her. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. It would appear that some form of ultimatum has been issued. Yes, according to that bastion of journalistic excellence, Heat magazine, which, of course, I allow you to determine the veracity of the material. I provide you with the interpretation and understanding. It reports Prince Harry is counting down the days until he turns 40 next week, and is reflecting on the relationships he has with friends and family as he prepares to hit the milestone age. Harry and his wife, this one's wife, are reported to be planning a lavish party to celebrate the prince stepping into a new decade. Grandiosity. And while a number of their A-list pals, do they have any, are expected to be in attendance, it's not thought that any senior royals will be. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Well, why on earth would any senior royals want to attend the renegade prince's birthday after the way that he and his handler have behaved? And now, the Duke of Sussex is left wondering if it's too late to mend relationships he fractured when he moved across the pond. But a source explains that many of the people from Harry's past are wary of forgiving him, with this one's wife still in the picture. Now, pausing there. Some of them may recognise that she is a narcissist. Many of them will not. The important thing to remember, however, is that many of them have witnessed her behaviour and recognise the influence, the unpleasant bearing that she has upon old Ginger Bollocks, who seems largely incapable as a consequence of not being particularly clever, his own emotional thinking and her manipulations, of any independent thought. The article continues by explaining that nobody would go so far as to try and push Harry away from this one's wife per se. But the fact he's still perceived as her personal puppy dog is the big reason William, Camilla and many others inside the firm won't budge an inch right now, despite his best efforts. Thus, if this source is accurate, there are those within the royal family, and indeed certain members of the royal family fully understand, that Harry is, in effect, enchanted by this one's wife, that he remains under her spell because of the nature of her narcissism and the way that she controls him, that they describe him as a personal puppy dog because he's beholden to her. Even his London friends are worried about the fallout that comes with being perceived as Team Sussex, not so much due to Harry, but because this one's wife is so resented and untrusted by all corners of British high society at this point. This, of course, is terrible news for this one's wife because she likes to think of herself as trusted and liked. Her behaviour tells you you don't trust her. She lies, she revises history, she's governed by money, she betrays confidences, she tells tales, she bullies, and therefore many people within that high society have made their minds up about the behaviour and see that she is the toxic element in this relationship. If Harry is lucky enough to build some bridges with his loved ones or old pals, then he'd be wise to do so by himself and not involve this one's wife in any way. That's just the reality he has to live with, as painful as it must be for him. This is, of course, the difficulty that an intimate partner primary source of a narcissist finds themselves in, stuck between the person that they love and their family members and their friends. They want all of them to get along, but invariably this doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because the narcissist regards certain individuals within the friend and family group as a threat to control and smears them, makes up lies about them. Friends and family, over time, see the behaviour of the narcissist and recognise we've got a wrong 'un here. And basically they want to rescue and have a relationship with their friend, with their family member, but realise that they're going to have to cut out the toxic individual that is the narcissist also. Accordingly, for Harry to enter into the fold once again, it appears from this article that if it is to happen, then naturally it can't be with this one's wife, which then makes him have a difficult choice. On the one hand, the fact that he's been devalued and he'll see her poor behaviours for himself. He's not entirely stupid. He has woken up to some of those. His reactions, for instance, in the Columbia tour, demonstrate that he sees the way that she behaves. His reaction, for instance, to that disgusting mock curtsy is also demonstrative of the fact that he does see that there's certain aspects of her behaviour that he has little tolerance for, and that he is increasingly losing patience in relation to. But still, the emotional thinking pervades, and of course there is the necessity of wanting to keep his family unit together, and therefore he would much prefer that everybody were friends again, that they'd all get along. But that simply isn't going to happen, and Harry ultimately is going to have to make a choice. People in Harry's life are said to have been cautious of the effect this one's wife has had on him since they stepped down as senior members of the royal family in January 2020 in a move dubbed Megxit. And the divide has only deepened since this one's wife claimed she was silenced by the royal family and didn't feel protected following their 2018 wedding. But Harry is hoping to show people that he has not changed since meeting his wife. For now, Harry's goal is to remind people that he's still the same person he always has been. He knows he's got a mountain to climb as far as convincing certain people that they should give him the time of day, but by all accounts, he seems to be feeling pretty confident that he can do it. He has accepted that it won't be easy and will take time and effort, but it's worth it to him, because he doesn't want to be stuck out in the wilderness forever. His approach right now is to take it step by step. And it seems the father of two has a plan of action of how to get people back on his side. First on the agenda is to make the rounds and prove to people that he's still got his own voice and backbone. Good luck with that. He's not some puppet that says whatever his wife wants him to say all of the time. Well, that's certainly how he has come across, and that's certainly the case for certain individuals that are ensnared by a narcissist. And this is the impression a lot of people have right now because he's been so out of touch with everyone. If this is accurate, and Harry recognises that he's perceived as a puppet and he's going to do something about it, this may be the first tentative steps that he's taking towards escape. He admits he's pretty well exiled himself, so he doesn't blame all these people for just believing what they've heard, but he's now out to dismantle that narrative, which of course would not go down well with she who must be obeyed, because that will threaten her need for control over him. He's trying to strike a balance between sticking up for himself, but at the same time agreeing to compromise for the sake of getting back into the fold. Turning 40, he's looking at life as a much bigger picture. Now he's a father of two and he's got mouths to feed as well as his own, and he's also very aware that time is ticking on. Another big factor of Harry's reflection is said to be the ill health that has affected his father, King Charles, and sister-in-law Kate Middleton. The King announced his cancer diagnosis in February, while Kate revealed hers in March. His father isn't getting any younger, and there are very real concerns that he could be a lot sicker than he's letting on. His friends are all getting on with their lives, and of course his sister-in-law's had the hideous health scare. It's very sobering, and it's got him determined to swallow his pride and do what he can to dig himself out of this mess. It's a delicate situation because he's still fiercely loyal to this one's wife and protective of her and the kids. So it's not as though he's going to throw her under the bus or demand she be by his side in this when she's made it clear she's not comfortable being back in the United Kingdom with things as they are. He would love a scenario where she and the kids could come back with him. That's the ultimate goal, but that's nowhere near possible now. First, he needs to ingratiate himself back in. If push comes to shove, he'll absolutely stick up for his wife. He just won't do it in such a defiant or foot-stamping kind of way as he has in the past. He does find it pretty tragic that so many people won't give her any kind of shot, which shows that he's still not truly woken up to what she is and how she behaves. But his hope is that when and if he's accepted back into the inner circle, he'll be able to convince people to let down their guard with this one's wife too. Well, good luck with that. He's aiming to reconnect with people and see who's open to some sort of dialogue. Yes, some will completely ghost him, their understanding, of course, the maintenance of a no-contact regime, or that they simply don't want to have anything to do with him and this one's wife. He's bracing himself for that, but he's also hopeful that it may not be as grim as he thinks. Of course, he knows that William still has a deep distrust for him, so he's not even bothering to try that angle right now. Thus, It seems that Harry is attempting to make tentative steps to try and reconnect with people, which continues this hokey-cokey of who you believe as to whether he's trying to do so and what are his motives. It still remains the case, of course, that this one's wife isn't welcome, and he faces the problem of people not wanting anything to do with her, a common situation that the intimate partner primary source finds themselves in relation to their ensnarement with a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.